Construction inevitably comes along with pollutions such as air pollution, noise pollution, and water pollution. According to a report published by Oxford Economics, global construction market will grow by $8 trillion by 2030. With the expansion on construction projects, the pollutions brought by construction will irreversibly destroy our commons in a great extent. What's more, globalization further intensified the problem. For example, global division of labor would lengthen the origin-destination distance for transportation of materials and exacerbate the environmental problem associated with transportation. In view of the situation, governments and various institutions are trying hard to propose solutions to alleviate the problem. Different building labeling systems were created, such as LEED in the USA and BREEAM in the UK. In Hong Kong, the government and various institutions founded the BEAM Steering Committee, which established Hong Kong Building Environmental Assessment Method in 1996. This method could alleviate the environmental problems brought by globalization. In addition, some multinational corporations prefer eco-friendly space, which exert pressures on landlords and developers to join BEAM+.
The assessment of a building's performance covers the following categories, including site aspects, material aspects, energy use, water use, indoor environmental quality, innovations and additions. Credits are awarded where defined performance criteria are satisfied. Currently, there are 4 ratings for a project after completing professional assessment, namely platinum, gold, silver, and bronze. To apply for BEAM+, first, you have to register your project online. Then, you have to sign assessment agreement with BEAM Society Limited. After that, projects will be assessed by BEAM assessor and reviewed by technical review committee. Then, applicants will accept the rating, and finally, HKGBC will issue the certificate. The figure shows the distribution of assessed BEAM+ projects grouped by project type. There are a total of 467 assessed projects. BEAM+ is mostly applied to residential projects, which takes up about 50%, while for commercial and government projects, they account for 17.1% and 14.8% respectively.
Holiday Inn Express Hong Kong Soho is a hotel development located in Sheung Wan, which was completed in 2012. It obtains Platinum Award in the BEAM+ assessments due to the excellent performance in different aspects. First, in the sustainable building design aspect, it saves 58.5% more energy when compared with an average hotel. According to the EMSD Hong Kong Hotel Energy Consumption Benchmark, the overall saving of CO2 kilowatt-hour emission is more than 70% compared to BEAM+ baseline. Second, in the energy use aspect, the use of double glazing glass curtain wall reduces the flow of incoming and outgoing heat. Less energy is used to heat up or cool down the space, resulting in lower energy bills. These examples contribute to the high rating in the assessment. Then, some people may ask, why the developer are willing to build a green hotel and apply for BEAM+? The private developer's major incentive to apply for BEAM+ is to obtain gross floor area concession. To encourage developers to enhance the living environment of private building, the government used this concessionary policy to substantially increase the floor area of buildings. With a large floor area, developer can sell more area and increase its profit. Give rise to the so-called inflated building problem, the government tightened the regulation in 2011, which states that BEAM+ application is the prerequisite for granting of the GFA concession. The applicant in applying for approval of building plans should submit the official letter issued by the Hong Kong Green Building Council acknowledging the satisfactory completion of application for BEAM+ certification to the Buildings Department. On the other hand, The high initial cost is one concern of applying BEAM+. Green building usually requires innovative knowledge and high construction cost.
In the case of Holiday Inn Hotel, the additional cost of building a green hotel is Hong Kong dollar 10.94 million. However, the energy bill saved is Hong Kong dollar 3.33 million per year. The payback period is only 3.2 years.
The advantage of green building outweighs the disadvantage after 3 years of operation. So, green building can be sustainable not only environmentally but also economically.
Kwai Chung West Estate is a public rental housing located in Kwai Chung. Completed in 1975, Kwai Chung West Estate provided 5,260 domestic flats to 14,800 residents in 10 old-slab blocks. The theme of Kwai Chung West Estate is living in sustainability, aiming to improve the building environment through enhancing the environmental performance and promoting sustainable living. Kwai Chung West Estate is one of the pilot estates selected by the Housing Authority for certification of the BEAM+ for existing buildings. Having joined the estate improvement program, it adopted different sustainable designs and installations, thus achieved professional platinum rating in 2014, followed by final platinum rating in 2015. For example, the ISO 50001 energy management system has been implemented to replace public lighting with energy-efficient products. This significantly reduced the use of energy by over 10% of the total energy consumption of all domestic blocks. Another highlight of the estate is that an environmental protection window, which is a LCD panel installed at the ground floor lift lobby, displays periodic energy consumption of electricity, gas and water, as well as the comparison on consumption performances of previous year and the average figures of all public rental housing blocks in Hong Kong. This helps to arouse residents' environmental awareness and energy conservation. In the long run, it also serves as an education purpose to teach residents not to overconsume energy rather than just achieving sustainable goals on the building itself. While application of BEAM+ scheme can definitely help reduce resources consumption and thus carbon emission, there are several difficulties facing during implementation. The new building GFA concession system provides only limited incentive for developers. Currently, once the developers achieve prerequisites of the scheme, they pass the minimum standard for getting 10% GFA concession. However, even if they improve more and get higher level of certification in BEAM+, the percentage of concession remains the same, providing no extra incentive for developers to reach higher level and save more energy. Apart from the new building, the existing building also have no incentive to join the scheme. Under BEAM+ existing buildings, the performance of the building is assessed by 3 aspects: its operation, maintenance, and improvement. Addition and alteration works like replacing old elevator motor with regenerative one require extra capital input. Even if they are awarded with GFA concession, it is not possible to be realized unless reconstruction. Currently, there are more than 90% of the private existing buildings not joining BEAM+ existing building scheme. The no participation rate indicates a large proportion of contribution of carbon emission from existing buildings and thus a great potential for reduction. Multiple ownership also hinders the maintenance of old buildings. The agreement of majority of ownership and the use of collective sum of capital are required for the renovation of common area and building service systems. It is difficult for the owners to reach consensus, especially those buildings without owners' corporations. In our interview with Surveyor Wong, also the chairman of HKGBC, the underlying cause for the low participation rate is the lack of sustainability building concept in the society. Citizens will not place reduction of environmental impacts higher than economic benefit. They do not see A&A work related to sustainability and environmental conservation necessary. Moreover, the
The rating of the building is not the purchaser's main concern when buying flats. Developers have no motivation to improve buildings' green performance to attract customers.
The short-term solution is to provide economic incentives. For new building, the government would tighten the prerequisite by requiring a development project to attain specific standard of performance in environmental protection, or even adopt performance-based and site-specific approaches to determine the maximum gross floor area concession. A new scheme with progressive GFA concession levels is also suggested, which encourages the property owners to launch building projects that can achieve higher rating. As suggested by the former chairman of the Hong Kong Green Building Council Limited, the proposed percentage is as following. For existing buildings, as suggested by Surveyor Wei Wong, tax reduction can be offered and renovation costs can be exempted from tax payment calculations. The long-term solution is to promote the concept of sustainable built environment. This can be done by, for instance, adding education is one of the performance criteria in BEAM Plus assessment. When the building management company hold an activity promoting water or energy saving, they are awarded 1 credit. By doing so, the public engagement is highly encouraged, helping convey the concept of sustainability to citizens.